Welcome back, my fellow degenerates. Week 11 is underway with the Thursday night game. And to be honest, it's been a little bit disappointing so far. That being said, the Eagles just came back. They scored a touchdown, tush push, of course, spoilers. But Jake Elliott missing the extra point. He's missing a field goal. He sucks. Um, let's see how this game wraps out. But so far, for fantasy purposes, very underwhelming so far. I think the high score is probably Saquon and Austin Eckler. So if you have Eckler, maybe you played him. Probably not, though, with B Rob being healthy. But speaking of exciting games, this weekend we have quite a few to look forward to. Personally, I'm most excited for the Chiefs Bills. Allen Mahomes, always a great battle, so I'm sure it won't disappoint, especially in comparison to the Chiefs games so far this season. I mean, the blocked field goal was exciting, but a lot of these games underwhelming for fantasy purposes. In today's episode, we'll go over last week's picks. Once again, we're failing you guys. I'm sorry. It happens. But the good news is we don't really have anyone listening. So we're maybe disappointing our friends or family, our girlfriends. But in terms of sabotaging your season, it's probably only my brother. So sorry, Nick. Let's try to not have it happen again. That being said, we still have to discuss these picks and my abysmal 25% hit rate. Um, it could be worse, I suppose. You got to look at the bright side. After that, we'll discuss our week 11 picks. I always say that our picks each week are going to get better. Doesn't happen, but I have a good feeling about this week. I really do. And I would be ecstatic, so pumped if I hit three of these eight picks. So let's hope for that number. Three out of eight picks. I'm sure we'll get that. It'll happen for sure. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I suppose. But anyways, after that, we have a surprise segment from Dan. Yes, he hit me with this one. A total surprise. I'm excited for it. It's going to be his absolute smash hit players of the weeks that are going to be dropping bombs. Yes, dropping bombs. So if these guys are on your team, you got to be pumped. Hopefully you have them and you're going to win your games right out early on in the week. But if you don't and you're facing them, you honestly might have to panic heading into the week. So let's hope you're not playing against CMC, Josh Allen, just to name a couple of them. Anyways, that's about all I got. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. As always, good luck in all of your fantasy football endeavors, unless you're one of our leagues, because then luck ain't gonna save you. Peace.
In audio.
3, 2, 1, action. Welcome back to the DGen Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Dan Schmader, and with me tonight is Dylan Rains. Tonight we're going over our picks last week, which Dylan has been doing solo the last couple weeks, but I'm back.
Yeah.
And I should have stayed away because last week was another tough one. But after that, and after we own up to some mistakes, we'll get into our flex-worthy, none of the superstars that you're obviously starting, but flex-worthy starts for the week.
Yep.
And then I have a special segment at the very end. I smash start, guaranteed to boom, picks of the week.
There we
But
go.
before we get into Dylan, can you just go over some practice injuries this week, guys that aren't at practice, limited at practice?
Yeah, of course. I didn't even know we had this special segment at the end. So I'm excited for
I know.
Dan's boom
Surprise.
picks of the week. So we'll see.
There has to be some repercussions if they miss. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So we touched on a lot of or a few of these injuries last episode, but just to go over them again, maybe some updates is like we mentioned, Trevor Lawrence, he's out this week with his shoulder. They have the bye next week, so he's just resting into the bye. Terrible news for anyone on the Jags, BTJ, Evan Ingram. He can't play any of them probably with Mac Jones. So Dalton Kincaid looks like he's going to miss this week. Hopefully it's just like a short thing with his, I believe it's his knee, like MCL sprain, I believe, but I think he's going to be out this week. So there's a lot of open
That's a shame.
target. Yeah. A lot
He
of
was starting to heat up a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah.
He was getting his target share up.
Yeah. So that room's kind of hobbled for Josh with Keon already getting ruled out as well this week. That's another one. Josh Jacobs has been limited in practice. I think he's going to play, but we'll see. Similar story for Amari Cooper. And then it's just the old guy brigade of early week. We have Amari not practicing, Devontae Adams not practicing, Aaron Jones, who had the injury, but I think he looks like he's going to be okay, even though he is limited. So,
Yeah, they're all like veteran rest days. Josh Jacobs has had the same quadriceps injury like since this time last year, I'm convinced. He's just got a Q next to his name
yeah.
every week.
So,
So we'll see. Keep an eye on it though. Marshawn Lloyd is also coming back
yeah.
from IR. So you might have an option.
Yeah, his practice window is open. I don't think they've officially activated him yet, but it's a good thing to keep eyes on. So,
yeah, he was one of those guys who was kind of like a preseason darling and then,
yeah.
vanished.
So,
all right, it's the time. Now's the time. So last week I wasn't here to gloat, but I think I went for like 6 for 8, 5 for 8, something like that.
yep.
Unfortunately, it hit about 50% for me. But Dylan, on the other hand, another toughie. But hey,
Yeah.
these picks are tough, and the NFL has been more or less pretty dog shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of bad offensive play. But let's get into our last week quarterback hits because we went over.
Yeah. I was going to say, no.
We went over. I picked Tua, whose projection was like pretty reasonable, 17 points versus the Rams. Bust. He played pretty bad, almost got concussed again. Don't want to talk about it.
Yep.
And my other quarterback was in the same game. And again, a low projection, 16 points, but Matt Stafford also played terrible, threw picks. It just wasn't a good night for the Rams, and they lost. But honestly, I'm sticking with Stafford going forward.
Yep. I like Stafford still. 2 misses for me as well. I will say these guys played terrible, but fantasy point wise, they just barely missed. Goff he scored 13 out of his 15.5 points, and Daniel Jones scored 14 out of the 17. So Goff, I mean, that he threw 5 interceptions, unheard of.
Oh my God.
So
and they still won though. It's a crazy.
They still won. And then Daniel Jones, he had 14 points still with the rushing upside. So I mean, they weren't terrible misses. So they still misses. I don't know. We'll see what Goff does this week. Daniel Jones, I think he's got a bye this week, and then he's probably benched and never playing again. So
the $40 million man, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost went Goff for one of my quarterback picks of the week, but I remembered all 5 of those picks and held off. But he's just one of those players that he could do this one week, the following week, light it up. Running backs, I went 1 for 2. Aaron Jones, I think he would have hit his projection. He finished with like 12 points.
Yeah.
But he got hurt, missed a quarter or so, maybe a little less. And he actually played pretty well. So hopefully he's healthy this week. I like him the rest of the season. My other pick, though, was Tyrone Tracy, who had a really good game. I think he almost had 20, and then I think he fumbled, and I think he ended up with 17. But it was against the Panthers, our old faithful.
Yeah, he did lose the game for the team, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he was a hit.
Yeah, he was.
He got in there.
That's all we care about. We don't care about the wins and losses. Just the fantasy points, baby.
Your points per game, baby.
Yeah. I hit both my running backs as well. So we did a pretty good job on the running backs. It was Kareem Hunt. I think an exciting thing for Kareem Hunt this week was his passing game involvement. He had 10 targets, 7 catches. Yeah, like just crazy involvement. So he scored 17 points. Love to see it. And then Austin Eckler as well. We kind of expected this with B-Rob out. He reached the end zone. He had all the volume, or most of it. McNichols got a little bit, but 2 touchdowns carried him way past that projection. So we like to see it for Eckler.
Yeah. Running backs just feel like far safer this year.
Yep.
I've been playing nothing but like running back and flex spots recently just because those flex wide receivers are not producing as much this year.
No.
But I hit both my wide receiver picks this week. George Pickens had a great game, and he's one of my most controversial players in my mind because I hated him before the season. Hated him.
Yeah.
That was with Justin Fields. And then Russell Wilson turns out to still be good. So I like Pickens going forward. With Russ, he's being totally unlocked. And then my second wide receiver pick was Old Faithful Darnell Mooney. He had another good game, almost 100 yards. Looked great. I'm excited about him in this NFC South rest of season schedule.
Yeah. They both had great games. I mean, Pickens is so fun to watch. It's like he's hilarious out there. Just his little stupid blocks he does or his little jumps. But he's
Yeah,
playing
he's
really
talented.
well with Russ, like you said. So, I mean, rest of the season, he's very exciting. And then kind of same thing with Darnell Mooney. They kind of had a down game, like the team as a whole, or a slow start at least. Um, and they got a lot of rushing touchdowns with Bijan, which always is going to happen. But yeah, Mooney had a great game. So we like that.
Yeah, he's just like not much of a red zone target. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's Bijan, it's Drake, but in the middle of the field, Mooney's been
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep. So sneaky wide receiver 8 on the season, I believe, in full PPR.
Yep.
So, yeah. My wide receivers both misses yet again. I will say they both were like 1 point off their projections though. So
Yeah, they almost got there.
we're gonna asterisk them. Debo coming back from the bye week and the injury, projected 14 points. He ended with 12 and a half. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Debo. I think he's still got wide receiver one upside rest of the season. So still start him. And then Khalil Shakir, he missed his projection by a point as well. He had like 11 and a half instead of 12.5. So, I mean, this is kind of Shakir, right? Didn't get the touchdown. He got his like 5, 6 catches, his 40, 50 yards. So,
He might also be a sneaky wide receiver too.
yeah,
Sick.
he's just been
Might be like
consistent.
he might be like wide receiver 19. That's crazy. Yeah, and he hasn't been injured. So yeah, he's a wide receiver 19 on the year. But points per game, I'm sure it's much lower. But
Yeah.
he's like really the only reliable target week in and week out for Josh Allen. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he only has
Young team.
one game in single digit points. So,
Yep.
that's pretty
Mr.
safe.
Consistency. It's a nice little possession receiver.
Yep.
Tight ends, we hate tight ends, but I picked TJ Hawkinson. He
Yeah.
hit. He outproduced Justin Jefferson. I hope that it continues on for him. He looked good.
Yep.
That was a weird game for Darnold as well, though. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Darnold just felt more comfortable throwing to TJ. And then Hunter Henry, massive letdown. His
Yep.
projection was 11 points. I almost traded for him that week too. And he
Yeah.
got, I think he might have put up like a point or 2 points or something like
Yeah.
that.
I traded away just in time. So, they like
Yeah.
that.
Brutal. He'll be back though.
Yeah. I mean, the Bears defense is good. They didn't get a ton of passing. It was just a lot of, I don't know. Pat's offense has like 10 different guys they throw the ball to. So,
Mediocrity.
yep.
A lot of mediocrity.
And then my tight ends, I went for Taysom Hill. I thought we were gonna get the like magical 2 Taysom Hill games in a row. We did not, unfortunately. So
You got to go for it though.
yeah, this was like if it was ever gonna hit, it was gonna be this one. So dude, just
Got to do it.
all the injuries. So that didn't happen. I think he had 8 points. And then my other pick was Dalton Kincaid, who have we mentioned now a couple times. He got injured, so that's just kind of a wash. But yeah, I went 25%. That's I think my worst one yet this year. So
Not
each-
bad.
yeah.
I mean, what are we really hoping for here? I mean, obviously we won 8 out of 8, but
Now,
what's like a good hit for like predictions?
I think like
30%?
5, 6 is like great. If you hit like 5 or 6 out of them, that's
Yep.
nice.
That's a good. These are flex guys. You know, it's not like we're saying Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, we could do that every
Aaron
week.
Jones.
Just pick Lamar Lamar Jackson. So,
Yeah, Danny Jones' brother,
yeah,
Lamar Jones. Okay.
yeah, I got confused because they're like the same player: Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson.
Now, for this week, you and I agreed on a couple picks, so I feel extra confident now that we're going for 50, 60%, 75%.
Close
say.
enough.
Yeah. let's go. We're getting 6 out of 8 this week. Although I think I picked 7, so even better.
You gotta just
So I'll kick us off.
Yep.
Brock Purdy is at Seattle.
Yep.
I like that matchup. And Purdy, and even if it wasn't a matchup, I would still say Purdy this week, unless he was playing like the Vikings or something.
Yep.
But Purdy has all of his weapons back. Debo, Juwan Jennings has looked good. George Kittle, obviously no Ayuk, but CMC, and they're going to get rolling. I think they're going to show us who they are.
Yeah. I picked Brock as well, so I'll just piggyback on this. You didn't mention Ricky Pearsall as well, who looks good as a rookie.
Oh, yeah.
But like they just have, I think another week, these weapons are all going to come together and like they're just really going to start rolling again. So
Yep.
we like Brock a lot
Defense.
rest of the season.
Yep. He did this last year too, guys.
Yep.
Just lit it up end of year. 20 a game. 2 touchdowns. 300 yards.
Like
every
clockwork. So
week. Seriously. And now he's got everyone back. Hopefully they stay healthy. All right. My other pick, I'm going to Sam Darnold comeback week. He plays at the Titans. The Titans actually have a decent ranked pass defense, but I don't give a fuck. I think he's going to tear him up. Justin Jefferson going to dominate, hopefully. And then TJ Hawkinson back at it again.
yeah. And Jordan Addison, right?
And Jordan Addison, he's been quiet, but he's got talent. He's been a little quiet.
I will say I did watch a clip this week of all of these have been very popular this season, is every play where Jordan Addison was wide open and Darnold just doesn't even look in his direction. Obviously there's other targets, but it's like the Kyle Pitts ones from over the years, or the Drake London or Garrett Wilson ones where they're just so wide open. And it's like, so that did give me hope for future Addison, but in terms of this year, he's probably cooked. So
yeah, we'll see. I'm also curious about what the Vikings' future holds. Maybe we do like a end of year review and then we think about next season. But you have Darnold, who has played okay. He's managed to get them wins, and then you have this guy JJ McCarthy behind him, so who we've seen in like one preseason game, and he played out of his mind.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious what they're gonna do. I hope whatever they do, Justin Jefferson, Addison, TJ all stay fantasy relevant. All right, who's your other QB pick for this week?
It's my boy CJ Stroud, who's looked like literal butt cheeks the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Throwing multiple picks this past week. The offense looks in shambles, but I'm going CJ Stroud. Big thing is they're playing the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Cowboys, their defense has been all right, but now their offense is just so fucked that they're just going to have a couple mistakes. Stroud's going to get a lot of chances. I still really like CJ Stroud. Obviously, like statistics wise, he's terrible, but I don't know. I still have a lot of faith in him compared to these other quarterbacks in the league. So I would, no question, he's a top 10 quarterback in the league to me. He's like, so I don't know where exactly you rank. Where do you think you'd rank? Let's see. I don't
in real life.
Yeah, in real life, not fantasy.
Okay, I think he's still a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, easy. Like obviously you got Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow, Hurts.
I would think he's closer to Jordan Love than you'd like to admit, though.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love's right there behind those guys too.
Yeah, Jordan Love's kind of an idiot at the same time.
Yeah,
he throws a lot of picks, but he can air the fuck out.
I think like after those guys though, it's like that Love, Stroud, Herbert tier, and I think Herbert's the top of that tier for sure. But he just
for sure. Yeah. In terms of like real quarterback talent, Herbert is. I would say Herbert's even top 5.
Yeah, but it's just.
And then I think you kind of get to like Kyler, 11, maybe 12.
I guess Jaden too. I didn't throw him in there yet, but yeah. There's a lot of guys up there, but I still think Stroud's up there. I don't think he's top 5, but 5 to 12.
Yeah, I mean Stroud. In terms of fantasy, in real life, I think it can be forgiven because he lost all of his receivers.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with their line, but he is taking a lot of sacks, getting pressured. So, but in fantasy, he's just going to be one of those guys where, like, I don't think you should draft super early in redraft. Like
Yeah.
where, yeah, I almost felt like he was kind of being pushed into like where you would take, Mahomes, like before Dak, before Kyler.
Yeah, he was like
And then
not far
next year.
behind Lamar this
Yeah.
year.
And he's not really a running guy. And then you have to bank on him throwing 30 plus touchdowns, which, this year didn't happen, but maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. We'll see. So
You never know. I mean, he had a great rookie season and he
Yeah.
looked the part. So we'll
Yeah.
see. All right. Running backs. Once again, we have some agreement here on David Montgomery.
Yep.
He is playing he's playing Jacksonville,
Yeah.
which is like such what you hope would be like such an awesome matchup. And I like him. I watched a lot of that shitty Lions game on Sunday night.
Yep.
And they run him like full drive sometimes. Like even after Gibbs makes an explosive play, like Monty's back in.
Yep.
And Sunday he was just getting like 1 yard rushes, but I think this week he just tears them to pieces.
Yeah, that's my thought process with Mac Jones over there. I think the Lions are going to get ahead really early, and they're going to be like running the ball just even in the first half, just running it. So I think it's going to be a big money game, like 20 plus carries, 100 yards, finding the end zone.
And I can see Gibbs having a big week too.
Yeah, for sure. That doesn't mean
I
he
like
can't.
Monty.
But
Yeah, just like burn clock, Monty's going to be in there. And then my other running back pick of the week, who's a staple for our weekly picks, and he hits most of the time, Kareem Hunt,
Yes.
somehow, some way. He plays Buffalo, which is not an easy matchup. But I don't know. I'm excited for that game. I think, is it going to be like a 16-14 game?
yeah, I'm going to go like
Yeah.
20-16. That's my guess. Or 2017.
I just think it's good. I just want like an epic Allen versus Mahomes matchup.
Yeah, those are gone. Unfortunately, those days are gone.
But I picked him. His target share last week was up.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see it again. So we'll see.
Yeah.
He is he's kind of coming to an end. If you could trade him high, I probably would.
Yeah.
Pacheco is going to at some point.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of a tricky situation because I think Pacheco is going to be coming back. He's practicing. I don't know if he plays this week. I don't think he plays this week. But I don't think there's a world where the rest of the fantasy season Pacheco takes 50% of the snaps.
No.
So
Probably they're headed to the playoffs in real
Yeah.
life. Like
yeah, like there's no world where Pacheco goes to that. So it's like, how much of Kareem's time is he really going to take? But like I said, you don't want to be on the wrong end of it. Whereas like if somebody can pay for him now, but it might be a little bit too late to sell him, but you never know really with a desperate team. So
especially in some redraft leagues.
Yeah.
For sure.
it's the desperation
sure.
week. So,
All right. Who's your other running back pick?
so I had Monty and then I'm going with Nick Chubb.
It's a Chubb week.
It's a chubby
Let's
week.
go.
So I don't think we've picked Chubb yet this year. We might have. I think I did in his first week back, and he got the touchdown.
Yeah, I think there's one. Yeah.
But that was like a obligatory. He's returning, but I think this game is going to be an absolute dumpster fire. They're playing the Saints at 1:00. It's probably going to be the least watched game in the 1:00 window. And I think Chubb's going to get 11 points. I think I'll find the end zone probably.
Yeah.
It's nothing spectacular, but we'll roll with it.
I'm down. I like it. We like this matchup. All right, wide receivers. I'm going D-Hop at Buffalo, sticking with Chiefs. Again, thank God I didn't try to trade or successfully trade for DeAndre Hopkins after that 28-point week. Because then he followed up with 7, right?
Yeah.
I think this week we find a little bit more of a balance where he hits his 14, 15 points, gets right above his projection. Again, I just am hoping, and it feels like it's going to be a high-scoring game where the teams can move the ball, even on a good defense like Buffalo.
Yep.
And then Josh Allen will work some magic. James Cook is going to get stuffed, though, all night. But Josh Allen's going to have a game. We'll get to him later, though, in the surprise round.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I kind of we'll see with D Hop. I think he does better this week than last week, of course. So, but do you want to go over your other?
And then, yeah. And then my next guy, Zay Flowers at Pittsburgh. I'm really praying that Pittsburgh kind of shuts down the run as much as they can. And by that, I mean like
What? Yeah.
Derrick Henry has 22 carries for 80 yards,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a Zay Flowers called upon game again. Dante Johnson, I'm not worried about at all. Mark Andrews, I think, is certainly like rising from the dead, but I don't think he's going to be a focal point in the middle of the field. He might be a red zone guy, but last week I think was like his ceiling.
Yeah.
And I like Zay Flowers this week a lot.
Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting game. It's just hard to know. Like Derrick Henry, the rules don't apply to Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So it's like,
They do not.
we'll just see. So, um, Zay, I mean, it's just hand in hand with that, right? Like Zay can have great
Yep.
games. He can also be invisible. So,
Yeah, like last week.
yeah.
That killed the parlay of ours. But
Yeah.
if anyone can figure out how to slow down Derrick Henry, it's Mike Tomlin,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh D. And then on the other side of the ball, Russell Wilson keeps up.
Yeah. I want to
That's gonna
see a full speed Derrick Henry into TJ Watt. That's what I want to see.
Oh, just like a monster collision.
Yeah. Just
They
like
both kill each other.
a sonic boom. Just like that'd be great. So yeah. My wide
Yeah.
receivers, I'm going back to Debo this week. I know he didn't hit last week. They're playing the Seahawks. We mentioned Brock gassing him up. He's only projected 13 points. So I think Debo has a bounce back week. He's still going to get some rushing involvement. He just has like too much opportunity share to really like not reach this goal. So, especially against the Seahawks team. So, we like Debo. And then the other wide receiver that I'm moving to is he was a little bit of a waiver wire hero for a bit. He should be taken in every league by now. He just come off a bye is Cedric Tillman.
Nice.
Um,
Love it.
So, I mean, you probably all heard about Cedric Tillman by now, but if you haven't, week 7 through 9, he was the wide receiver 1 for the Cleveland Browns and wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. So that's all you need to know. He's only
Yeah.
projected 10 points. I don't think he's going
Bad
to,
defense.
bad defense with the Saints. So we're playing him.
I'm on the side of thinking Cedric Tillman is legit.
Yeah, I am too. Not just because I traded for him in the dynasty league, but like I don't know. He just looks good out there. Like and he,
Yes.
like that's what I care so much more about than the stats is like the eye test, right?
Yep.
Is like
Absolutely.
yeah. So he looks good. He's explosive. He's big. He's very athletic. So I mean, and it's not like he's just like doing jump balls or anything like that. So he looks very well rounded.
And they're the type of team that would fuck this up. You know,
Yeah,
like,
that
they
is
would have
true.
him buried they would have him buried on the bench, not playing him.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the only question mark is like, why wasn't he playing?
Yeah, because it's the Cleveland Browns. That's why.
Yeah, when Deshaun Watson was there, I know Cooper was there and Jerry Jeudy, but there's no excuse for why this guy hasn't been playing. But it is a Cleveland Browns, so I'm on Cedric Tillman team. I like that. All right, tight ends, blah. I picked David Njoku. For probably similar reasons as you did. They're playing the Saints, Jameis Winston, and hopefully we'll see some Njoku involvement.
Yeah.
Against a bad D. And I'm definitely like after last year, I wasn't like racing to pick Njoku in Dynasty. But there's no denying he's big, he's fast, he's part of the offense. They have injuries, and Jameis Winston throws the fucking piss out of the ball.
Yes, he does.
And that's all I got for tight ends. Like I only had the heart to pick one of them.
That's fine. We're not gonna dock you for that, but
Yeah,
right.
and Joker's he was a tight end 1 2 weeks ago, tight end 7. This week was tight end 18 at 10. He's been getting targets.
Yeah.
You can lock and load him.
So we keep mentioning Dalton Kincaid. My tight end pick of the week is Dawson Knox.
Wow.
just purely opportunity based. Yeah, we're going Dawson Knox. I mean, Keon Coleman already ruled out, Kincaid ruled out, Amari Cooper maybe. So I think Dawson
Yeah.
Knox.
And what's his projection this week?
I mean,
4 points.
yeah. So we're not gonna. I don't
Oh,
think
well,
it'll go
it'll be
up.
more when Kincaid's rolled out.
It'll be
Yeah.
more. I think right now it's currently 3.9 points. So
Yep.
we're not going to go off that, but I think he gets at least double digits. So
Yeah.
we're rolling with
See it.
Dawson Knox. And then my other pick of the week is Will Disley.
Nice.
We keep saying that this Chargers team is kind of a clusterfuck in terms of targets, and it is, but Will Disley actually leads the league in tight ends in their first read rate. So
Crazy.
yeah.
His involvement is legit.
Yeah, and I think last week his first read rate was 40%. So as soon as they snap the ball, how many times is the first read Will Disley? It's 40% of the plays. So
That's crazy.
yeah, just nuts. So, and he's still around like 25-30% target share. So full PPR, I think he can get 10 again. But I'm not like super excited to play him. But
Yeah. It's kind of like the Mike Gesicki
yeah, it's just
situation.
yeah.
Or like 1 week it might be there, the next week, he has 7 points. But either way, like the tight end landscape has improved
Yeah, it has.
over the season. That first month was just viciously bad.
Yeah.
And now the tight end 18 last week scored 10 points. So it's definitely getting better. Whereas the first month of the season, 10 points was like what you were praying for.
10 points was like tight end 3.
Yep. So look, literally. So it's good to see the tight ends getting back involved and old faithfuls like Mark Andrew making a difference on his offense again. All right. One very quick segment. The smash guaranteed to boom picks. I left tight end off this because just
Of course.
please. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Quarterback. Josh Allen against the Chiefs.
Yep.
I can feel it in my bones that they're going to have just an epic showdown like Joey B and Lamar had last week. I can feel it.
Yep.
Oh.
I like it.
Dude, it's gonna be 16-14.
I hope it's a good game. I think it's
Yeah.
I hope it's kind of a fun game, like some explosive plays. That really hasn't been the Chiefs team this year. But outside of Xavier Worthy, of course. But I hope something big happens in this week in this matchup. So
Yeah. And we see like vintage Mahomes.
yeah.
Receiver. AJ Brown.
AJ
He's
Brown.
playing against the Commies tonight. I think he smashes them to little fucking pieces tonight.
Yeah.
Which hopefully he does, because Eagles and Commies, it might be the game of the week tonight. Back-to-back Thursday night games to take us home.
Yep.
And finally, Christian McCaffrey against the Seahawks. Gonna dominate, gonna get passing involvement. Gonna put up 28 points.
All right.
Guaranteed.
I like it. I mean, his projection is probably what, like 23?
Yeah, it's just crazy, but it is CMC.
Yeah.
CMC came back last week. There was some talk about like he'll get 55% snap share, and then Jordan Mason and Garendo both get one carry.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Just right back to it, right back to work.
Yeah. So I like it. I think CMC is going to be huge. I think a lot of teams that probably traded for CMC this year, knowing that this was going to happen, are going to win their fantasy leagues. Because if you drafted CMC, you probably had to move on from him in a lot of cases, right? Like, because you either had the 1-1, 1-2, or 1-3. So
yeah, definitely. And then some team that was like kind of winning a lot, some other players opened up.
Yep.
Traded for him and stashed him.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, maybe you're like the Jamar Chase team who drafted like 7th overall, and you just traded for CMC to add to him. So, and now you're just smoking everybody.
Yeah, someone in desperation just moved him on. All right, so that's our picks this week. Hopefully, Purdy and Monty both have a game, both have a week, because it would make us look united as one.
Yes.
Any closing thoughts for the week?
Closing thoughts for the week. I don't think I have anything new. I'm excited to see Jaden Daniels take on the Eagles this week. This is probably the highlight of the week. coming on Thursday night once again. So
Yep.
it's fighting for the division as we're getting closer to the playoffs. So I'm excited to start looking towards playoff football past fantasy football. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We have a few more weeks to go. A
Yep.
few more weeks to go. All right, everyone. Good luck in your fantasy leagues this week. This is a crucial week. Make or break for some of you.
Yep.
We'll see you next week. Make sure to like and subscribe too.
Yeah, of
Leave a
course.
comment if you can.
See you guys.
Later.